oil, because we're so dependent on oil, is going to skyrocket so much. No? I dread to think what the price of gasoline is going to be. No? It might be 10 times what it is now within a matter of 2 to 3 months. I don't know, but it could be that. There is no one here that would rather be proven wrong than me, because I want to be proven wrong. What we see, what the LaRouche organization, with all of its information put together, what we see is a dreadful circumstance, no? To hit countries that never before experienced by any country, a level of devastation. Now, what do we do here? Okay, let me premise this. Another sad fact is the leadership and the proponents to be alternatives to this leadership have not addressed this situation at all. No? Either because of ignorance, no? Or which is most probably the case, or because of cowardice. No? And those are complementing. No? If you don't know, you would rather keep your mouth shut and not address this, and address some other issue. No? There is something much more important than corruption. There is something much more important than certain male-female relationship issues. No? Yeah. The issue now is the survival of our nation. And I have said that we in the Philippine LaRouche Society have proposed that emergency steps be taken for the survival of our nation.
Well, okay.
Which are not the solutions, but it will give precisely the kind of thinking for our people that there is leadership and there can be steps for us to try to overcome this present malaise.
Well, okay. In terms of energy, what is the solution for energy? I can't say nothing else, but alternative energy, you know.
Well, but let me address this, Gil. So I'll go through the three, because this is a integrated step. These are not choices. Three steps that I'm saying. We have to address the foreign debt payments immediately. All of this is going to be moot and academic anyway. No?
So
but we have to make a declaration that we are not going to pay our debts for the meantime. No? Like a moratorium on debt payments. No? Mainly because these are debts that we never really received. No?
Anyway, they cannot foreclose the state. Anyway.
And these are debts that are not. These are bankers' arithmetic debts, no? Which we have been made to pay and forced to devalue our currency. Okay, so that means we save about $10 billion right away a year. No? Number two, and I have to address what you're about to say. We have to implement an energy development plan, okay, consisting of all alternative energy sources.
Independent from fuel.
Yes, so that we will have indigenous power. But number one of this skill will have to be the Bataan nuclear power plant. Because the Bataan nuclear power plant is proven to be cost efficient, the cleanest method of generating power, and it is there. The cost of restarting it is not going to be like putting up a new one. And then not just generating the power, the Bataan nuclear power plant will also have the facility or capability of producing potable water using nuclear powered desalination plants, producing millions and millions of potable water from the sea.
Yeah.
Every day. Our computation is about 50 million gallons of potable water every day. You can just imagine the impact of this into food production later on and into the lives of the people. And the third one, since you have the resources, presumably because you're not going to postpone payment of that, and since you have available energy, which is not based on imported oil, we must start a science-driven, infrastructure-based national food production program, no? To double, triple, or even quadruple the production of food, because this is the only antidote to hyperinflation. All agencies of government, private sector, and all civic organizations must pull their resources together and efforts together, focusing on a massive food production program, no? Because that is going to fight hyperinflation.
Do you see that happening, Mr. Santos?
It is.
Do you see the three solutions, the three-pronged solutions?
Oh.
Do you see that happening in this Congress or the next Congress?
Against the reality of our politics, I don't see it happening really. Boots.
Yeah.
However,
You presented to Congress. I've seen you in Congress.
Yes,
you
yes.
presented your stance in Congress.
Yes, yes.
How was this received?
Well,
They all looked at you and gawked.
Well, some of them were just shocked. No? Some of them saw that it should happen, but
Most
of them, like I said,
ignorance and cowardice.
Right? Cowardice. Let somebody else do that. Why us? Right?
or
But
maybe
time
they-
is
maybe
of
they're
the
saying-
essence now.
That's it.
No, maybe they're also saying, ay, hindi bahali. Pagdating niya, wala na ako, patay na ako.
Paano yung anak ko?
Exactly. Because
ayun.
what we're doing now, no, is not for us. This is precisely going to prepare the next generation so that they will have a chance.
All right, you told them that, but what was the reaction?
Well,
They gawked.
They go. Yeah, that's the whole problem. Yeah, the whole.
they were stunned. But they were inactive. No?
They were standing.
By the way,
inactive.
all of these things I've also mentioned to some of the presidential bus. I had private meetings.
I don't hear any of them talking about it
No,
in either
no.
of their platforms.
None of them. No. Isn't that sad? No.
Well, you
Isn't
see,
that sad?
What's this is what I've been saying all along. A presidential must have the vision of what's going around the world. Must have the information of what's happening around him, around us, so that he should be able to come up with a platform germane to national development.
Well,
you know.
I think the solutions, regardless of the doomsayer analysis promoted by LaRouche, is still viable and in the right consideration for the country, either way, anyway. Independent of those who feel or negate the theories promoted by LaRouche, the three-pronged solution you put forward are still viable solutions to improve the country's net worth anyway. Now, as far as debt relief or debt non-payment, well, you've got the bankers that are going to be against that. So we already know who are those who are against it, because we have already many civic groups who have tried many times, except that this administration and most of the legislators have been convinced by the bankers. Now, maybe there are reasons why the arm twisting exists, assuming there is arm twisting. But the second and the third, let's see, Congressman Marco Hanco, against all odds, went against academicians, against scientists, towards rebuilding for the Bataan nuclear power plant, to no avail, giving it another 6 months to study and 10 million peso budget to restudy. Regardless of the Bataan nuclear power plant, the solution obviously worldwide, as proven lately in South Korea, Japan, and most emerging countries, is nuclear power is the direction and the way to go. Look at France. Look
You
at
have to
Japan.
mention Vietnam. You have to
Vietnam, yes.
mention
Everywhere,
You have
actually.
to mention Bangladesh and Indonesia. No, all of them have plans for nuclear.
And the third solution being
Malaysia.
food security. You have harped on that on a personal basis for so long, yes. And you're still doing it. Your advocacy has not been let up. And not only agriculture and aquaculture, you've been promoting that, and sustainable agriculture, not just producing for one cycle.
Right.
So why isn't it that none of our presidentiables, let's see, what are the issues of the presidentiables? Corruption, moral ascendancy, number one. Like you said, it's not important because that pales by comparison as far as depth and priority.
Well, this is where also, Harry, media...
But don't we have Noy Noy coming up with anti-corruption and moral ascendancy? It's called the yellow magic favor, and everyone thinks that's the solution.
No, because also...
Corruption, di ba?
Also, media is at fault. You see, they harp on what is the best issue, what are the best issues today, what are the hottest
Hindi,
ones.
ikaw naman. Kasi nagiging
Corruption.
ganun lang naman yan kasi pera.